Good afternoon. Today's video is a try-on haul of the haul video you've previously watched. I'm going to be using all those new products and I'm just excited to get into these. Yes, I am wearing the same outfit. Yes, it is the exact same day. And yeah, we're not going to pretend that it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and try on all of these new products and let's get into this video. To get started, I'm going to actually fill in my eyebrows, put on some eye primer, face primer, and I don't have anything new for any of those, I don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and do those off camera and we will be back to get the rest of those lit going. Alright, we are back and ready to get to the fun part. I did put the Milani Precision Brow Pencil through my eyebrows and I topped that with the e.l.f. Brow Lift, which is the clear one that just looks like hair gel. And then I primed my eyes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. And I used the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams primer on my face. I did pick these because these were all a little bit newer as well. So, and using this Cookies and Dreams primer again, I hadn't noticed this before, but the texture of this is much creamier than the original Poreless Putty, but it gave me a really similar effect. So I don't know if this is limited edition or not, but if you don't like the tug on the skin, this is definitely a little bit easier to spread out across your face. Just FYI. I think we're going to get started with the face, and I'm going to pick out a foundation here. I think I want to use the Catrice True Skin again. And I have the shades Cool Nude and Neutral Ivory. I used Cool Nude on its own the one time I used it, and it worked perfectly. It was fine. So I think we're going to try this one again today. I'm going to blend that in with my Wet n Wild Little Twin Stars sponge. I did wet this and wring it out. I shouldn't have worn this white shirt though. I feel like it's going to get covered in makeup as I pull it down before it dries. Let's pull this down a little bit here. Okay. I'm going to put one pump of this foundation out on this little, I'm just using the lid of my primer. And I'm going to dip my sponge and I'm going to go in this foundation. It does have a little bit of a smell. It kind of smells like sunscreen. There it is, just a little layer of it on. There's nothing else on this side. It definitely gives me some coverage. I have applied this once and I wore it to a wedding and I ended up dancing and all the things and I was sweating like crazy. It was an outdoor wedding last weekend. And it seemed to wear really well. Like when I got home, it didn't look, up in the hairline is where I was kind of afraid it was going to be really, really splotchy, looking like it had dripped down. It didn't. Still seemed to be really intact. I don't know. I really expected it to just be gone. I thought, okay, you're not going to be able to tell I had makeup on. I mean, it still was covering. I'm going to do just a touch more. And I've heard someone mention that when you squirt this, a little bit more comes out like after you squirt it. And it does. Like I squirt it and then like another drop comes out and it's done it every time. So just be aware of that. It's not making like a huge mess, but I think if you aren't expecting that, it might make a mess. And I do actually have some other foundations on the way here as well to try. It's just been my jam lately, like I've been really excited to try specific foundations that I've seen people use and heard people talk about. So I do have some others on the way. Now I normally would pull this like all the way down my neck, and I would also try the Vita Liberata on the neck, but I am wearing like the highest shirt I own right now. I think I'm going to use the green palette, so I'm going to leave this on, but next time I'll wear a lower cut top so I can try those kind of things. I'm curious to see how all that's going to work out. And if you want swatches of the 2 foundations and the 2 concealers I have of those, check out that haul video. I really like the way that this looks. Like you can still see some like freckles, some discoloration, some things like that, like over here especially. But it really balances out like the redness and it just looks nice. Like the 2 times I have worn it. This is the 2nd time. My neck is looking a little bit red compared to my face, but it is actually a pretty good match. Just in a general sense, For concealer, I'm also going to use the True Skin High Coverage Concealers. And I did mix these last time because I feel like the shade Cool Cashmere, which is this one, is very much my skin tone. And then I used the Neutral Ivory to brighten it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to try one of those Morphex Jaclyn Hill brushes. I thought these just looked really nice. And I'm going to try this for like the powder under the eye. So I don't know if this is also meant for powder, but I feel like it'll be nice for concealer, so we'll try it. I'll use this and the sponge and we'll see what we come up with for that. Because it tells you on the packaging of the Jaclyn Hill brushes that there is a brighten and highlight brush, an angled under eye brush, an airbrushed brightening brush, and a brighten powder brush. I'm just going to use them how I feel the need to. I even tried to find like on her channel how to use them and I didn't see anything. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of this like actually under, see how that's like almost exactly the tone of that foundation. So I'm glad I picked this one. These are both like really good skin tone matches. So the shade Cool Cashmere and the Cool Nude shades are very neutral toned, cool toned kind of thing. I'm going to go with a little of that, and then I'm going to take the Neutral Ivory and actually put that like on the center of the face. I will say, when you open these, be cautious. The concealer, like, it wants to pop out of this container. I'm afraid to let it just do it on its own. I'm afraid it'll go too far. But it just kind of, once it's open, it's open. And it both of them have done it, so be cautious with that. I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to start blending these in. This smells the same as the foundation. Very sunscreeny. I also want to take some of that lighter concealer and put it like out here. Blending that in under the eyes. This brush seemed to work nicely for that. It doesn't look like it absorbed too much of my product. Oh, it looks pretty nice. Okay, I'm going to go over that with the sponge though, just gently kind of smooth everything out. It's not like the full coverage of anything I've ever seen, but it looks nice. It does say high cover. I may build up a little bit more of the skin tone match right here, just to see what we can do with it, because I didn't try to build it up last time, so we're going to try. Letting that set for just a minute to kind of dry, and we'll see. Speaking of this, I had somebody mention this to me, that the key lime was really good, tastes like key lime pie, and it does. This is probably the most soda tasting LaCroix I've had. Like, this one tastes really close to like Sprite and 7-Up, and it's good, but Sprite and 7-Up are not necessarily my favorite, you know what I mean? So it is a good one. It does taste like key lime, so it's pretty good. So thank whoever recommended this. I will say the lime and the lemon are definitely my favorites. I think because I expect those to be like bubbly and citrusy. I think the first one I tried was like coconut, and I did not enjoy that. I think because I want coconut to taste like candy. Like, that's how I associate coconut personally. And it wasn't sweet at all, and it was like, it gave me like suntan lotion vibes, and that's not what it tasted like, but my mind was like, it wasn't sweet at all. And yeah, I would say that built up a little bit, and it doesn't look really cakey at the moment. I actually want to give this a minute to sit before I set it with powder, just to see how everything's going to go, just to see how it's all going to set down. Because on my hand, like I said, when I did it the other day and just swatched them, like, they dried down completely, and I could barely get it off of my hand. So, okay, so before I go and set everything, I'm just going to let it all be as it is for right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and start on the eyes, then we'll see where we're at, and I'll probably powder the under eye and all that. Now for which palette to use. I did already use the Hawaii one, and it's very, very pretty. Very neutral, but it was a really pretty, like, BH quality neutral palette. It was really good. The Saint Tropez one, I feel like I just did a look with this recently, but I kind of want to try out the new formula, but I don't know. I am definitely using this one, the Absinthe Palette. Definitely using this. This lime green here in the middle, like, I have to have it on my eyes. But I don't know if I want to do two different colors or if I want to go all with the green. So let me look through here. I feel like with this green palette, this pink one might be nice, because this shade right here is kind of almost like a green shifty color anyway. So I kind of want to pair these together. I think I want to go in with the pink Sunglasses palette from BH. and the Absinthe Palette from BH. Now, I will go ahead and do some swatches on my hand here and see. I'm not great at like the arm swatching, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, here is the Absinthe Palette swatched. Again, not the best, but like you can get the gist. It is a very like grungy color story. And let me wipe these off and I will swatch this pink one. From what I have heard, these aren't the best. So we will see. We'll be the judge of that. Ooh, these look nice in the first row so far. These feel creamy, but I feel like the colors themselves are they're just lighter. Like these two at the bottom are almost identical. And they're both like really, really light matte colors. Ooh, that one's really pretty though. Okay. There's that. Oh, that's not bad. So there's that one. That looks really pretty. I think I'm going to have to use this, which is that really, really sparkly glittery one right there. All over. Yeah, we're definitely using that one. Okay. And I will say all those came off pretty easily. The green and the pink. You can see some leftover, you know, color, but most of them came off pretty easily, which sometimes is a good sign. Sometimes not so much. I think we're just going to start green. We're just going to go for it. I'm going to use the shade Trippy up here in the corner in the crease. We're just going to go for it. Ooh, that's nice. Matches the stripes in my shirt almost perfectly. I don't know if you can see this. It looks more yellow on camera, but in person they're very like neon green. Very pigmented, what I would expect from a BH shadow. Nothing new there. I wasn't even trying to collect this whole collection, but now I hope I find the orange one. And I want to find the other two, the Switzerland and the Barcelona of the travel series. Hopefully they will restock those. Now I've seen the Barcelona one, or excuse me, I've seen the Switzerland one, but like the version I have, like the older one. Like, where'd they get that thing from? Like, those have been repackaged for a while. Okay, we have that basically up to the brow bone almost, and I don't dislike that. Okay. Now, I would normally pull this around the eye, but I'm not sure if I want to go with the pink or anything, or if I'm going to do that at all. So I'm going to just go with the top for now and see how we're feeling. I'm going to take the shade Blackout, which is funny that it's a green. I'm going to take that and put it in the outer corner. Actually, I may put that in the inner and outer corner. I haven't done a halo eye in a minute. So I'm going to take that Blackout shade, that dark green, on this little tiny brush. And I think on the inner corner. I think we'll just go for it. I've been doing a lot of green and yellow looks lately, I feel like, but just been feeling it. So maybe we'll try to put some of that pink in here and jazz this up a bit. And I'm not even going to take it through the crease because I'm going to take like a shimmer all the way up there. So I'm just going to kind of blend this out into that light green. Really building up that green shade. Okay, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, I've done several of the greens lately. Like I've said before, I do things that inspire me, even if it's similar. It's just me like literally putting on makeup that I like every day. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so we have that green built up in the inner and outer corners. Looking a little patchy over here. Let me see if I can build that up a little bit more. I probably should have done this first before the light green. That's what I've been doing, is going in with the darker shade first and then just blending out the edges. It gives me a nice solid color. Now here come the decisions. Do I want to go in with this in the center? I mean, like, I want to, but I kind of want to go in with like the bright pink in the center almost. I think I'm going to go in with Elixir. Just because, like, how can I not? Oh my, that's beautiful. I just used my finger because I already had it on my finger. I'm going to take my Sigma large shader brush and see how this works with this. I'm going to take that up like past the crease. Basically all up between those. I'm going to take it on my finger again and dab that on the lid. So I really feel like that gave me that intensity. But blending it with the brush works out, taking it up into the crease area. It's really blending effortlessly into like that dark green even. I feel like it's kind of smooth looking. Sometimes you really get like that harsh line from one to the next. And you have to go in with like a lighter color. I don't know, that looks really pretty. Oh my gosh, that elixir shade. I love this. I love this. Like literally love it so much. Now I do think I want to use one of these like mid-tone, like darker shimmer greens. This one right here. And I'm going to like dab this in there and just go a little bit in the inner and outer corner where the shimmer meets the matte. I'm just like dabbing in barely. I love that so much. I kind of want to go over the top though with this yellowy shade here. That was so shiny and pretty. And I'm going to, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh, look at it. So sparkly. Now that is definitely glittery though. This is definitely glittery. I can see it like in my eyelashes and it kind of fell on my face here. So just be aware of that. It is a little more sparkly, like actual glittery pieces, but I don't really mind that at this moment because it looks so gorgeous. I'm going to take this and kind of dust away, or try to anyway. I may just have to blend it in with my powder. We'll see. Just kind of blending over it a little bit, kind of taking off some of the sparkle. I covered it up. Now, just for the sake of trying out some other things, I think I'm going to take these bright pinks. This one over here and this one up here, and I'm going to put those on the lower lash line, and we'll see where that ends up. Just going to put that down here. And I still haven't set my under eye yet. Hoping that helps to stick. What? Hoping that it helps this to stick. Oh my goodness. Spit it out. I'm going to take that lighter pink in the corner. I feel like these are going to look pretty similar on the eye. Yeah, they definitely are looking pretty similar. This one doesn't seem to be the most pigmented shade. It is very purpley pink. But then again, I am putting it in a weird place, you know, just like in a concentrated area. So I'm not going to judge these yet. For the inner corner, I think I'm going to pull in my Frosé palette, also from BH. And I'm going to use, I think, a mix of like the whole bottom row essentially. Like all these pinks and stuff. Just kind of go in there and put those on the inner corner. I'm going to use that same brush I used for the lower lash line. The wedding the other day, you couldn't have asked for a better day for a wedding. I mean, it was beautiful out. Everybody was having a good time. It was so much fun. Liquid liner in Back to the Fuchsia. It is bright pink, and I never wear this. I think I've worn it once. So today's the day we're going to pull this out. So let's go across the top lash here. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and throw on some mascara, and I will be back to finish up the face. Okay, so I went ahead and finished off that pink eyeliner, did a couple of wings. I think that looks really cool. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Okay, I took some of my little jewel stickers and put one on the end of each wing here. They're just self-adhesive, just stuck those on. I put some of this LA Girl Pastel Dreams eyeliner in Magic Mint in the lower waterline. And then I used, of course, 2 Essence mascaras, the green and the pink ones. And I did, you know, like 5 coats of mascara. I wish I was exaggerating. So we have that done. Now my foundation still looks really nice. I have not powdered it yet, and it is not quite set down, but it is not like super tacky. So I'm going to use a little bit of powder just because I don't want it to move at all once I get up and, you know, move around. So I'm going to take my Zoeva powder in Dazzling and just put a little bit of this under my eyes using this Jaclyn Hill brush, the JH17. Trying not to get this in my mascara. I like this brush. I like this brush a lot. Okay. Because it is dense, but it's not picking up so much product that I can't handle it. I'm going to use my Tatcha powder on a fluffier brush, and I'm going to set the rest of my face. I've been kind of pouring this out, like, it's hard to, it's a little tiny container, but I've been kind of just tipping it over and like pouring some out onto my brush. That's how I've been using it. Okay. And the Tatcha powder I feel like is really potent. You don't need a lot of it to make it work. The Tatcha powder still feels like it picks up, like up here, some of my product. So, like, it looks really nice and it doesn't look powdery, but it definitely picks up sometimes in certain spots on my face. Not everything. Like over here looks nice, but like if I have some already sun damaged parts, sometimes it takes away the coverage on that. Now I do want to try this out today. This is the Unstoppable Maybelline eyeliner in Onyx. It says it is waterproof, and I used to love this. I had like shadow sticks that were the Unstoppable brand, like this. The writing looked just like this, but they were bigger. They were fantastic, like legitimately waterproof. So good. And I wonder if this is the same thing. Self-sharpening tip, all day wear, smooth formula. So I'm going to take this like on the waterline, which is the part right underneath your eyelashes. So we'll see. We'll see if this transfers all over the place down to my green liner. I expect it to, and if it doesn't, I will be shocked. But I remember loving these eyeliners so much, or the pencils I had. So there is that. For a lot of these, it is just kind of a first go. I just picked them up, and we're seeing how we like them. I do want to use the Totally Snatched palette, this guy from the Totally Plastic collection. This does have like a setting powder in it, so I might try that like on the T-zone just to see how light this really is. I didn't want to use it on my under eyes just in case it's not, you know, light enough for that. And I do want to kind of dip into these for contouring and all that, so I'm going to swatch these real quick. That middle one is actually very close to my skin tone. Like, it's the same amount of product as I have on the other ones. That's almost exactly my skin tone. That's kind of cool. And now here are the bronzer shades. So they're very creamy, but they're not like overly pigmented. Yeah, they aren't so powdery and pigmented that I'm like, I can't possibly. And that didn't really even take away the whole lettering in it. So yeah, that's nice. Okay. So I think I'll pick up this other little brush from the collection and kind of put this right here. Let's see how this looks. Okay, immediately that brightened, but it does look a little bit heavy. But then again, I already had powder there, you know. So I do kind of want to buff that out though, because I feel like now it looks like is where I put it. And technically it is, but I would be curious to try that on its own, as like its own powder. because that definitely is light enough to use for that. Now I'm going to pick up my Sigma contouring brush, my small contour, and I think I'll just start with the lightest one. I normally would use this like a bronzer, but let's see. It's kind of warm. Let me try some of the darker one, like the darkest. Let's see how that looks. I think as a contour, it's a little bit warm, both of those together and separately. I'm going to take a little bit of this down the sides of the nose. But I do like the pigmentation level. I feel like this is workable. I don't like a bronzer that's so pigmented that you're overwhelmed. A bronzer or contour. I like one where you can kind of dust it on, like I'm doing here, like kind of getting a little willy-nilly with it. I'm also going to use these as bronzer. I think I'm just going to kind of dip into all three. Let's see. I'm literally like tapping in. I'm not like swirling my brush or anything like that. Lightly picking up some product. Okay. I like that. I do. I feel like this also could work if you were trying to it'd be easy to dial it back. Like if you went too crazy with that, you could easily go into something a little bit lighter and go over the top. That is nice. Nice quality. And again, not powdery. I've now done like my whole face with the bronzer and still have all the lettering. Flower Beauty in the shade Wild Rose. Here we go. That'll do it. So I'm going to take a brush for this. Put this on the cheeks. Now this is really pigmented. Be careful. These are beautiful blushes. I have the other two Flower Beauty blushes on my wish list online. On my wish list online. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it underneath my eye. I have a lot of eyeshadow fallout from that. It has to be from that pink palette, that yellowy shade out of there. Like chunks of glitter. There's a little bit on this side, but a lot on that side. So I will have to use that again. I don't know if it is because I just put it over the top of everything and it didn't really adhere to my primer, or if I needed to have like an actual eyeshadow, like a glitter primer with it. So, okay. That's a lot of blush and I am happy with that. I've been really liking this brush for my blush. This is actually the Sigma Large Angled Contour. I've had this for a while, but I didn't love it as a contour brush. I felt like it was a little bit like flimsy, but for blush, it really applies it nicely. It's a good shape. I don't know. I just have been enjoying that. Okay, I'm going to try the Catrice Sungasm with my new Feather Light highlighter brush from e.l.f. I did use both of these one time. So, again, no real thoughts. And I did have that matte blush, so all of that glow is from that highlighter. It blends in very, very well. Go almost like in the brow. Let's see how that goes. Now I just need some lipstick and we will be absolutely done with this look. Loving it so far. Let's see what we can find for lips. Okay, they've just started up the mower outside. Someone has, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. And I'm just going for it. We're going bright pink on the lips today. We're just going for it. And this is the e.l.f. lip liner from the Retro Paradise collection in Vivid. I'm going to go ahead and feather this in on the outer edge. I think I'm going to use Graffiti Pop from Clinique simply because I never wear this. I never wear this. I'm not going to put it on thick though. I'm just going to like dab it. I don't want a heavy layer. But I almost want it to like sink in and keep the color pink. Then I'm going to take, I think I'm going to use Dazzle Me Pink from the Revlon line. Almost like a gloss in the center. And here's our final look for this afternoon using our haul products from the previous video. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.